In 2009, in the winter of 2009, and probably most of you know, Rachel Sharon Crespin published an article at Middle East Quarterly, which is published by Middle East Forum. And then in that article, she actually draws a picture of Gulen, or in fact, draws a picture of Turkey, which is going towards Russia, Iran, becoming anti-American, anti-Semitic, anti-Western. And she blames Fethullah Gulen for being the major factor behind that. But it's not, it wasn't the reason that I started doing research. In her article, she, you can see that over there. She says that Fethullah Gulen is a financial heavyweight controlling Unplugged and PAC budget estimated at $25 billion. And if you look at the source 3, if you go back, that's actually an article that I co-authored with Helen Rosiba. So which means, my article is the source of that information. But we didn't have anything stating that, Fethullah Gulen controls $25 million or such thing. We were actually looking at why people were donating and how was the system constructed. So, but we didn't have anything about, we had some figures like dollars, but it wasn't like 20. We were not trying to look at, the total budget of the movement. Then I, actually responded back to the journal, stating that this is, I don't know if that information is correct or not, but I know for sure that you cannot use my research as a source for that information. You have to correct that. So then I was naive, I didn't know much about it, and I got response. They were telling me that, maybe they can publish something that I can respond to her. But I was basically asking, just correct that information, because you cannot refer to my study to cite or to give that information because it's not there. Anyway, so they didn't respond, so it didn't go through. Then I ended up writing an article which is actually in the book. But when I was looking at the internet, so this wasn't just a simple article actually. It was crafted in a way that can go in high rankings when you Google Fethullah Gulen. In fact, I became an SEO, what they call search engine optimization expert when I was doing this research. If you look at, I Googled during those times, if you Google Fethullah Gulen, if there's what we call sponsored links at Google, which means, if someone, Googles a keyword, you pay Google and it comes either on the side or sometimes at the top, but you have to pay money. If you look at, I Googled Fethullah Gulen, and if you look at it's got sponsored links and Fethullah Gulen's danger, Middle East Forum, referring to that article. During those times, actually, 3 other organizations were paying Google to be listed at the sponsored links when someone Googled Gulen. One was Middle East Forum, Interfaith Dialogue Center in New Jersey, and Rumi Forum. And Fethullah Gulen is the honorary president of both Rumi Forum and the Interfaith Dialogue Center in New Jersey. So it makes sense for someone or some organization to pay Google or to spend money if someone Googles, its honorary president to reach them. But it was, it was quite difficult to understand why Middle East Forum was paying Google and spending money for an article that they published, just one single article. And I asked I worked with some experts on these issues, and they were actually guessing Middle East Forum spent almost $50,000 per month for those searches. So it's quite a money, So then I started, so that something is going on, and there must be something else. So then I actually ended up doing this research. So this is the story of the research that I started.